Hey there everybody, redxparasite here, and welcome back to Let's Play Metroid Prime 3. In the last episode, we made our way further into Fiery Brio here, and we have ourselves a bit of a fight coming up. When I say a bit of a fight, we have a very big pirate ship that's, launching things at us. Well, of course, that's not going to be it. Now, fun fact, you can actually, if you do it quickly enough, you can destroy these ships before the pirates come out of them. Of course, if you do that, you might miss some of the scans, so I won't recommend against doing that, but it is a cool little thing that you actually can do. So, we have a new scan. This is an armored pirate trooper covered with a thin layer of armor susceptible to explosive attacks. Armored pirate troopers are equipped with a standard armor suit that provides adequate protection against beam attacks but is vulnerable to explosive blasts. They are outfitted with all the basic pirate armaments. This includes an assault rifle and energy scythe, both powered by Phazon. EMP grenades are often employed against power-armored foes. A new dash jet system provides increased mobility. So I think that's it for new ones. So let's use a missiles against this guy. That'll knock his armor off a little bit more effectively. So there's the dash jet there, actually. So, got an ATC here. And they're not done yet, of course. And these guys you can't do anything about because they're in cutscenes, actually. But luckily, Samus will handle them in the cutscene for us. And it looks like she's not the only one. Hey Rundas, how have you been? So, you can scan them right here. This won't actually get you the logbook scan. After a few seconds, though, he attacks you. And he'll also do this if you walk forward. So, unfortunately, it looks like we have a boss fight on our hands. So, this is Rundas. Ice armor protects his body, but could be ripped off if he was stunned. Phazon exposure has greatly enhanced Rundas and his ability to generate ice, making him deadly at any range. His durable ice armor is his one weak point, the neck. Serious physical stress can weaken and remove it, exposing Rundas to attack. This weak point cannot be seized as long as Rundas is active. He can create frozen objects at will and can freeze missiles mid-flight. Smaller ice-based projectiles can be shot down, but it is recommended to evade larger attacks. Be advised, Rundas can trigger a hyper mode state, elevating his threat level to match your own. So it looks like he's been taken over by Dark Samus. Now, this fight is actually, pretty easy if you know how to cheese it. So, first things first, you're going to want to rip off his protective armor. Now, if you get too close, he'll do the scythe attack. If you bait him into doing this, he'll basically, you can sap a lot of his health using the charge hyper mode shot, and it only takes about 4 of those to take him down. So if you're good, you can do this all in one hyper mode tank. It's really kind of sad. Obviously, if you let him live for a little bit longer, he has more attacks than that. But yeah, it's unfortunate that he was kind of a pushover. Even in hyper mode, he's really not any more challenging because the AI is still the same. So, I mean, some of the other attacks that he can do are launching those ice shots at you. He can prevent your missiles from hitting him, so it's generally not recommended to use those against him. He will also do an attack where he kind of glides around in the air by, you know, it's kind of like Frozone in The Incredibles, where he just kind of makes an ice bridge for him to slide around on in the air. But that aside, he is actually kind of annoying if he gets into hyper mode. So if there's one reason to kind of go for the quick kill, other than, you know, it's quick and not all that difficult to do, it's to prevent him from going into hyper mode like that. But for beating him, we'll get ourselves the ice missile. This game is kind of pulling a Metroid Fusion on us, in that we have the ability to freeze things, but it's not with our normal beam. So, of course, you fire them the same way that you fire any other missiles. You do get a lot of health for health and, you know, ammo drops for defeating Rundas, of course. You don't need to scan any of them, so not really worth bothering. There's not much else we can do in this room for now, so we'll just take that elevator down to where we need to. Yeah, it is kind of sad, though, as far as Rundas goes, that you really don't get to interact with him all that much, because, you know, you meet him at the beginning, and he's on the first planet of the game, so you'd expect, you know, to encounter him early, but this boss fight actually comes up pretty early into this area, too. So, here we have scorch bugs, tiny insects that feed on fuel gel. They explode when shot. Scorch bugs are exclusively found on fuel gel producing planets such as Brio. The tiny insects subsist entirely on the volatile gel. Like many creatures with this diet, they have taken on ignitable characteristics of their food source. When shot with any type of weaponry, they burst into a small explosion, leaving behind a scorch mark. It is from this trait that they have earned their name. So, you can shoot these guys, although I don't think they really pose much of a threat to you because they're climbing on the wall. You don't really need to interact with them. So, these little kind of bubbling spots of fuel gel, if you shoot them with an ice missile, they will freeze. So you can use them to stand on, and that way you can cross areas with fuel gel without getting damaged yourself. So that's pretty useful. But we have kind of a gap here that we would like to be able to cross, but we can't. So what we're going to do here is use this pump station to get the fuel gel pumping out of those pipes. And in addition to being able to freeze those spots in the fuel gel pools, we can also use the ice missiles to freeze these. So you just fire one at it and it will freeze for you. Now, as you can see, you actually don't need to freeze every single one. They're being kind of generous for you and not forcing you to do the tighter double jumps that I've been doing, but you can usually just skip over one, or actually, in that case, you could just hit the middle one and avoid hitting two of them. So that would be the most economic way to get across that. You only use one missile, not two. So if we activate this panel, so give us some info on the shield generator. So if we go out to the front here, we can see, here's the shield generator. Armor plating made of moldium. Integrity is at maximum. Oh wow, it also lets us scan the seeds. So this is kind of an exception to the rule of, you know, things being too far away to scan, because these things are both definitely farther away than our scan visor would usually allow us to scan. So if we go into our command visor, we can see there's a target on the generator, but we don't have the firepower to issue that command with our ship just yet.
This generator is supplying power to the Leviathan's protective shield. You will be unable to destroy the generator with your current weapons.
Thanks, AU.
You must find a weapon
That's really
capable of
helpful.
penetrating the generator's heavy armor.
So it looks like that's going to be our next objective, because we need to get to the seed. Obviously, that's our main goal. But we have these 2 shield generators that we can't destroy with our current weaponry. But we have ourselves a lore entry here. This is Downfall. Look now to the time of battle, tribe against tribe. See fertile land swept clean of all living things by arcane nightmares or hellish blasts of science. See the giant stone Moganars do battle, destroying the land with their titanic blows. And hear the undying scream of a planet racked by the darkest war. The battles waged endlessly, and the resources needed to sustain our war machines were great. Brio too had become a casualty of the war. The air was filled with the smoke of battle, and the soil soaked with the toxins of pollution. Calamity after calamity visited the folk of Brio, until the world, once known for wonders, became a scarred husk under the stars. Only a small region remained habitable, and to it the survivors went, bringing the war with them. Okay, so we have ourselves a new objective, and that is to find the firepower necessary to... Oh, did I miss? Come on. I know I can hit this. Find the firepower necessary to destroy those generators. So, as you might be able to suspect, we will not be able to find that firepower here in this particular area. Hi, Gel Ray. Okay. So we're going to have to head back to our ship and go to a different area of Brio in order to get that firepower. Once we return to this temple, however, there are going to be some hoppers waiting for us, so you're not like stronger than you were before, right? Huh. Yeah, they must be, because I think they're... No, maybe they just need to be fully charged shots. So I remember, it's like 1 charge shot should take them out, but I think it's only fully powered charge shots that will do the trick. So there's nothing more for us to do here at the moment, so let's head back to our ship. So, there's a pirate at the bottom of the shaft, but if we shoot these down, we can also kill them using it. That's a cool little thing that you can use the situation to your advantage. So, in this area, there are 2 expansions that we can get our hands on now. That we have the ice missiles. And we'll be getting to them shortly. So there's a shortcut back to your ship right there, but I'm not going to take that right away. Because one of the missiles that we can get is actually back past where the save station is. So I'm not going to save since we don't really need it, but I did want to head to this area so we can pick up this expansion. Because we can now freeze these. Now these ones are spaced out a little bit. Oops. Okay, this is bad. Okay, I done goofed. Yeah, those these pools are really finicky. They'll spawn platforms as long as you're not too close to them. I think there's something that prevents them from spawning in a platform if you're too close. So if you mess up like a jump or something and you get too close, you can't fire, run close to where you are and then be able to use it. Now, we have 2 choices as far as getting back to the start goes. The shortcut here, I think, will take you back to this room. But if you take this ice missile door, then you can actually pick up another expansion too. So that's what I'm gonna do here. Help. Okay. Game, want to stop being finicky about me jumping out of gel. So you're gonna need to shoot those dots to activate the grapple swing hooks, which is actually, I like this idea. I don't think they implemented anything like it before, so kind of a neat concept. So if you pull this apart, it will do two things. One, it creates a shortcut back to this area, so now if we want to go to the temple quickly, we don't have to go through all of these rooms. We can just take these grapple swing hooks again in order to get that. Plus, we also get ourselves an expansion for it as well. So there's another reason that taking this this path is recommended. So what I can do, since this will be a little bit of a detour since we are closer to our ship now, but I'm going to go back and take the conventional shortcut. I'm going to try to be quick about it. So, you know, say hi to the save point again. So, just walk through here. So the reason that we couldn't get to the first shortcut here was because there was some fuel gel blocking the way. But as you can see, we can now freeze these, so we can stop up that flow here and get into the morph ball in order to take this shortcut back. So this outputs us right here, and you also get, oh no, haha, I got you. But as I was saying, you get a friend credit for taking that shortcut, so it is definitely worth doing at least once. So on this note, however, we have some Brionian Shriek Bats, which we finally got the scan for. Aggressive ceiling dweller that dive bombs approaching organisms. One of the many types of shriek bats found across the solar system, the Brionian shriek bat behaves similarly to all its cousins. Shriek bats will nest in small groups and make their home in a sheltered environment. Dwelling on the top of caverns and ruins, the shriek bat will hunt nearby insects and small creatures for food. Once the nesting area has been found, it will be fiercely protected from any intruder. The territorial shriek bat will dive bomb any creature that wanders too close, no matter what the size. So we're going to avoid them. There's nothing more for us to do in the Brio Fire area for now, so let's not head back to the hub area and actually go back to our ship instead. Okay, so now we're back here. You can scan Rundas' ship again after you defeat him, and it'll say something different. Pilot status deceased, so that was our fault. So we're gonna save the name of the ship here, and we'll make our way to our next destination, which is actually going to be the cliffside again. So that was the first area that we landed when we reached Brio here, because what we are looking for is in that region. One little minor detail that I kind of like is that you can actually see Samus's legs while you're sitting in the cockpit here. What's cool about that is that you can actually see the changes in her suit. So, you know, obviously, back when we were wearing the various suit, it looked like that, but now you can see the alterations that came about from the PED suit. Alright. So, fortunately, you know, loading screens can't be helped sometimes. But now that we're here on Brio Cliffside, we do have the map, so I can actually kind of show you where we're going to be heading. We're going to be heading towards this, because if you remember the last time that we came here, we didn't have the ice missiles. But we have the ice missiles now, so we can actually get get across that gap now. So I'm gonna try to head there as quickly as I can, since there's not going to be too much that we can do along the way. We can open the ice beam, not the ice beam, the ice missile doors now, and there is one that is in this area. You can swing by and pick it up if you like. I'm going to save it for later just because there's more stuff that we can do in that area later on that we need later upgrades in order to get. So.
Samus, we have discovered a Federation landing site on Rio.
Oh, perfect timing.
You may be able to use this facility to upgrade your ship. We are sending the coordinates to you now.
Okay, so basically, it's telling you the same thing that I just did. That we're going to be heading in this direction. Ow. Okay, so that's what happens when you don't shoot the Phazon Night Barbs. But I think this is actually going to be a good place to end this episode. So, once this door actually loads. So, thank you very much for watching. I've been redxparasite. And I'm signing out.